Okay, let's see. Yes, we're back. We're rolling, and here's what happened. My phone, I dropped it and broke it. So we're waiting to get. I'm waiting to get a new phone, and that's why we
It
haven't.
took
We
two
haven't
or three
recorded.
good droppings, so
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it probably was more like
yeah, it
7
hit-
or 8.
it hit pretty hard. So.
Yeah, I've been dropping that phone for a while. Anyway, it was not repairable. So here we are again, and we've had a lot of people on the channel, which is really nice, saying some really nice things, and so we appreciate that, everybody. And let me see. So we had a couple of questions from different people. Somebody wanted you to speak a little bit more about Robert Stigwood.
Well,
Elaborate on him a little bit.
you could elaborate on Robert Stigwood easy. You know, he was a real. I don't know if the word flamboyant is right, but he had a lot of style and class. Dressed to the nines, chauffeur-driven, living in a mansion on the edge of downtown London. Great big place. And when you walk in, you pretty much walk into there's a aisle that goes down this way, a hallway goes down that way, and then in the middle of it is this big room, and it has a throne at the back of it, and that's the toilet. It's like he had a proper throne for his toilet. Mm. I mean, hell,
he was
we had a proper throne when I was growing up, but it was outdoors.
Oh dear, yeah. Well, he was originally from Australia.
Yeah, he's an Australian
But you couldn't
guy.
really tell that, wasn't he? He acted more like an Englishman.
Yeah, and a very
Posh.
Yeah, like he talked about his mouth full of potatoes, you know.
No, marbles it is, honey.
Yeah,
That's
well, it depends on what, if it's South
Potatoes.
England or North England, you know, or exactly where it went
No,
from marbles to
they
potatoes,
say,
you know. So coming from me, they sound like a mouthful of potatoes. You know, really. I go, really? Really? You gotta be kidding, man.
Yeah, well,
There's no way
you
in
and
the morning
Robert.
with all the chop stuff.
Well, you
I lived
know,
over there for a while. So
you coming from literally the
Cotton
very
Fields,
poor,
Arkansas.
right? That very poor area to the very posh end of London, which
I went from one end of the stick to the other without even touching the middle of it, you know.
I can only imagine
It was
your
so much
response
fun.
to all of that. It
I
was
kept my my upbringing and my history, my personal history, so nobody really knew me before over there, before Delaney and Bonnie. And they hadn't cottoned on the fact that, you know, I was first white artist signed to Stax's hip label.
Right.
And so I cut or they say in England, made my bones. I said, cut my teeth, you know, with real gospel music and
well, you're not
pure rhythm and blues.
you're not exactly all white, so
No. My great grandmother, Grandma Harrison, she was a black woman, and she had white features. I remember her real well. And
well, not to get off on all the all of that, because we're talking about the Stigwood. So we did talk about her in a previous video.
We did talk about him or her.
Your great grandmother.
Your Grandma Harrison.
Yes.
Yeah, she'd have fit right in there with Stigwood now. Oh my goodness.
She would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, but Robert was a mover and a shaker. Most people don't know, but he and Brian Epstein were partners. And they had the Bee Gees, Lulu, the Beatles, and Cream. And when Robert and Brian decided to
Well,
part ways.
Yeah, you got to split that up.
Yeah, Brian and Robert, and they were kind of like on the other side of the tracks for me. But when they split up, Brian took the Beatles, and Stiggy took Lulu and Cream.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, I mean, Brian just rode the Beatles, until they did their number. He passed away, and they got Alan Klein and his wife Betty. And
nobody talks much about Betty Klein.
No, nobody knows about what the B is stands for Betty. And I say that like Betty.
Because George did not like
Betty.
Alan Klein at all.
No, they didn't get on real well. Alan Klein came in to try to straighten everybody out, and he did all right. He straightened the Stones out until they cottoned on to him, and then he straightened out
they took everything.
The Beatles until they cottoned on to him, and I could, Alan Klein. I have some stories about him as well, but that's not who we were talking about. We were
that's
talking
all right.
about Robert Stigwood, and he was a cool guy. I really liked Robert. I had a lot of respect for him, and what he did. And he seemed to have a lot of style and grace about him.
But he fell from grace in your eyes.
Yeah, because it was an opportunity. I could compromise my personal integrity and rode the big wave, and become the megastar. But we didn't see eye to eye. I had been molested when I was a boy 2 times. And, we used to hitchhike. It was not a problem, We didn't think anything about going from Big Mama's house. And I got picked up and took out in the woods, and I had my life changed. And it scared the hell out of me. And I've never said this. And I guess, I don't know, it made me have feelings, that I didn't know I had, And
well,
then the next thing you know, I'm talking about I was a little boy, and then the next thing you know, like a prominent member of the society where I was living and grew up. Everybody respected. My dad was in the mental institution, so he had a complete breakdown, and he was in the mental institution, and so I was really prime candidate. We were real poor. I was working 3 jobs, and my mom was working 1. And this guy wanted to take me to New Orleans and asked if it would be all right. And I didn't think anything about it. He had all the fast cars in town, and his parents owned the newspaper and all. And I liked him. I thought he was a nice man. And he wanted to take me to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. And my dad was in an institution, so he couldn't have anything. And my mom said, "Sure, Lisa, please do. I'm sure you'd enjoy yourself." It was a bad scene. We come home early. So when I landed in London on my own, it was all guys. Stigwood did not have any women working at the whole of 67 Brook Street. There was one woman, and she was in the basement, and she worked as a secretary for Roger Forrester.
Later.
He used to be Stigwood's guy that takes all the bands on the road. He wound up managing Eric. Stigwood was the guy. So when he come on to me, he come on to the wrong guy. He come on to a 40-foot tall and 100-foot thick brick wall built around me as far as my sexuality. And I had the opportunity to embrace major rock stardom, you know, or as he said, I'll blackball you. And I said, that sounds like it hurts. I didn't have a clue what it meant. So I had an opportunity to embrace that and be that, or stick with my own personal moral integrity and try to hold myself above myself. And I chose the latter. I chose to be Bobby Whitlock, the man I am today. And all the pitfalls that I've had along the way have been my call. They've been my mistakes, my pitfalls, not someone else's. And all of the heights of rock stardom or notoriety or any of that has been of my doing, not somebody. I don't know anybody, anything for sitting here talking to you and disclosing this horror truth. And I'm on the edge of crying. I guess when you're on the edge of crying, you have been a long time, and I have been. And I don't really know what else to say, except that I could have made a deal with the devil and claimed that mysterious title of Crossroads, made the deal with the devil. It's a load of shit. What it is a load of shit. I chose my path, and this is part of my path, and I wouldn't have this story to tell had I not made the choices that I've made. I love my life. I love my wife. My best friend all these years. And we're getting ready to do 20 years or something that we've been married. How wonderful. I've lived a great life, and I'm proud to be me. And I don't regret any of my decisions I ever made, because I could rest easy and didn't feel like I had compromised my integrity in any way to be the man I am today. You know, our trials, my dad did tell me 3 things. He said I had beautiful hair and a beautiful voice. And he told me one other thing, and he said that our trials and tribulations make us who we are. And I know that he was right in all counts. Yeah. Back to my coffee.